I had originally scrapped the idea of doing this video, a video on developing a fighting spirit. But last night I had the experience of having an astral battle that impressed upon me how vitally important it was now that I at least give you some information on how you can begin to develop that, a fighting spirit, because it's going to become very necessary for you to continue and just to better your life on all areas. It's a long dream, so I'm going to get to the real gist of it. There was lightning that flashed. I went to go open my window because when lightning flashes and I hear thunder, I immediately think of Thor, and I wanted his energy and his spirit to come in to my room, where I thought I was at the time. And I turn around and I see a very big, what I first thought was a troll, and I thought, wow, my ancestors are giving me a throwback to an adversary, probably a reptilian of their day. And then the big tail and the big snaggly, just abomination-style teeth, and I knew that it was most definitely a reptilian entity. And he was in my bed, laying down, looking at me, and there's a personal slight that he pointed out from laying in my bed, and I realized what that was. And my whole soul just exploded, and I could feel the energy of Thor descend upon me, and the weight of Mjolnir now in my hands, the flashing blue and red and sparkling of lightning and pulsating of thunder, and the look in this reptilian's eyes when he realized that I was not to be trifled with, and it was his end. He had met his end, and Mjolnir found its mark many a times and made him into a mush on my sheets in my astral dream, or my lucid dream. I woke up in the same bed and actually had to go wash my sheets. So if that gives you any indication. So developing a warrior spirit is going to be vitally important, and without getting into too much detail, because I could just go on and on and on about this, and I try to keep this within 15 minutes. We believe that in order for you to really achieve your highest potential as a magician or any sort of magic worker, or in any way as a functioning member of society, that you should be as healthy and as strong physically, mentally, and spiritually as possible. And I truly believe that challenging exercise is the way to do that. In fact, one of our earliest initiations in this order is that you were able to perform 100 push-ups in a row, and that's a feat. But it'll lay the foundation for the rest of what we require if you were going to actually in person join this order, and logistically and locale-wise and for other reasons that may be difficult, but doing 100 push-ups in a row on your own will definitely be an initiation of itself, and your whole life will change, I guarantee it. Also, we really advocate that you find some sort of martial arts practice, and we don't advocate any particular style over another. It can be fencing, it can be Aikido, it can be Tai Chi, it can be multiple forms of Kung Fu, it can be karate, it can be Western boxing, it can be MMA. Be careful with MMA, there's a lot of douchebags in it now, but it can be that. There's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I myself come from a long and strong lineage of Kosen Judo and very old school Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. That I have taken on a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts and been victorious many times. So it doesn't matter what system that you get involved in. What's important, what's vital, is that you get into a system with a teacher that's going to teach you how to apply it correctly, so that if and when you can protect yourself, but also because when you know you can really do something, it changes your mindset. If you know that you could truly harm another person, you are apt to be very careful. You are apt to realize your potential, and you are apt to know when to push forward and when to pull back. It's very important that you keep as traditional and as authentic as you can. But even more so important is you want to be in a school that is going to put you in front of another person, and in a controlled way, in a way that has a release and limits and restrictions on how you can come at this person, but still enabling you to impose your will upon someone else, for you to actually test yourself against another person. Steel, tempers steel. And the only way you can get sharper and stronger is to test yourself time and time and time again. And of course, you walk into a school where, a lot of people have much more experience than you. You're not going to do very well at first, but that's okay. You're going to build the strength, the will, and endurance to keep going and keep going and keep going, and until one day, suddenly, you're not losing, you're winning. And that is a great and victorious day, and a day that'll stay with you forever. I have been to many schools in my lifetime where, I walked in as a very low, and I didn't tell people my experience. I just walked in and said, hey, I would love to learn, I'd love to practice. And, I try to put myself in eyesight of the higher belts there, or the more experienced guys there, and I learn at the end of the boot. And nowadays I seem to be giving the boot a whole hell of a lot more than I am taking it, but I'm never doing it in a way that's purposely mean or malicious, unless I have to be. But therein lies the difference. In knowing what I can do, I can dial it back. I don't necessarily have to hurt anyone if I don't have to. But the fact that I could is what keeps me from being hurt. So if I know that I have a good amount of control over someone, I don't have to pour it on and really, really, really hurt their joints or make them pass out, but I can hold them in a way that, they know for certain that I am in control, that I am the one who's dictating what's going on, and that they have to very, very carefully reconsider their actions. Do they continue, which is going to lead them into a place of a broken arm or maybe unconsciousness, or do they stop with their stupidity and have a second chance to reevaluate what they're doing? That's the true purpose of having a fighting spirit, is saying that I am here and I'm not going to get walked on. I am not going to get pushed around. I am not going to lose what's mine. But I am strong enough and I am secure enough to allow you to have yours and you to have your own, and for you to find your own place. When we're talking about true warriors of a home front, true warriors of a people, these are people that are not conquerors. These are not people who go out and take from others, but these are people who are damn ready to stand in defense of what is theirs. Do you see what I mean? So, in developing a fighting spirit, you are learning how to impose your will upon someone else in a way that is going to be effective. Most people who get involved in martial arts initially get in to be able to beat somebody else up. But as they are tempered and they are tested time and time again, they begin to lose that feeling of having to go harm people, and they begin to realize how important it is to have a very strong sense of awareness, and how vital it is that they remain safe, so that they are effectively better people, and they're of better service to those around them. You really begin to learn a lot of self-worth when you are able to hurt somebody else. It's a strange paradox, but I guarantee you that that's going to play over. Now, when it comes to your spirit, as you learn to develop an indomitable spirit and a strong spirit, other things around you will start to notice. Not only will people begin to notice that you're no longer a victim and that you can hold your own and they will treat you better, things on the astral plane will probably begin to leave you alone. And should you find yourself in situations like I did last night, or have in other areas and other times, you will be much better off in gaining a victory over something that was there only for the sake of harming and taking from you, and allowing that to manifest into your life. Now, here's the thing. If these reptilian entities, if these Illuminati fucktards would just stop with their own agenda, guess what? They wouldn't have to be harmed by us. It's the mystery of the thorn. The rose is a beautiful thing. Your life is a rose. And your ability and your strong will are the thorns. Now, when they try to grab you, the thorns pierce their skin. Now, here's the thing. You're not doing anything. They are choosing to come after you. They are choosing to harm you. Your thorns don't go out and poke them. They come in and grab you. So the amount of force that they come at you with is the amount of force that your thorns go into their hand. They, in essence, are doing it to themselves. And they choose when to let go. If they keep grabbing tighter and tighter and tighter, and your thorns keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and they keep losing more and more blood, that's their fault. If they grab and realize, whoa, okay, this is not what I thought, and pull away, then they've decided that it's done. So you're the same way. With the fighting spirit, you decide, or they're deciding on you when they're done. And you are just reacting to the amount of force that they're giving. But you don't lose any ground. You don't lose any bits of yourself. And you retain the value and self-worth that you truly are. You keep the rose of your life as beautiful and wonderful as you possibly can, and you share it with everyone else. You allow the sight and the smell of your beneficence to radiate and brighten the lives of everyone else. And you keep your thorns sharp and ready for those greedy enough and misinformed and just incorrect in their actions to try and come grab you. Do you see how that works? So developing a fighting spirit is all about keeping yours, and defending what is around you, and not allowing things to dictate to you what they're going to do. You have say over your life. You have every right to defend it. And developing a martial spirit means getting into a martial practice. And for the most part, that's going to be a form of martial art. Plus, you can make a lot of friends. You develop a strong sense of health, and you get to look at your body in a different way, because you're now competing against other people, making yourself better. You're not competing against them necessarily for wins or trophies or money, but you're competing against yourself using somebody else. So in the essence of where an old teacher taught me that Bushido was really all about love, and that there's a sword so sharp that it actually puts things together instead of cuts them apart. You are providing yourself out of love of humanity to allow someone else to test themselves against you and find out where they need to improve, and vice versa. They are letting you test yourself against them and finding where you need to improve. Both of you get better. This is the essence of warrior training and why warrior societies were so close-knit. And this is the kind of warrior training that I'm suggesting for everyone out there. So please consider where it might fall into your life for developing a fighting spirit. I think it's going to benefit you 100%, and I will do what I can to help you out when I can. Send us questions, and we'll try to get back to you.